Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. It's Gaming Friday. I'm Gary.
And I sometimes find myself underneath a dark cloud.
And today we are taking a look at Dark Cloud, which came out on the 14th of December in the year 2000. It was developed by Level 5 and published by Sony and released on the PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's badass. That's badass. It's like a hamster yeti fucking flying thing. Oh, there's no spoilers.
I'm not that familiar with the development team of Level 5, although I do know that they made Dragon Quest VIII in 2004.
Oh, right.
They are a very popular Japanese game development company that have released a score of games. I don't know if all of them ever released in Europe or in America.
Yeah.
But they have a huge successful library of games released in Japan. And it's a games company that's still going strong today.
Yeah.
But Dark Cloud, I mean, it was kind of a critical darling when it released, although not in Japan, funny enough.
Right.
Japan was actually quite late in adopting this game after it had success in America and over here.
Yeah.
This was also a game that I'm kind of unaware of. You know, Sony kind of re-released the game on the PS4 via the PlayStation Network.
Oh, right. Okay.
Via
That's
an
cool.
emulator themselves. They kind of ported the game across and re-released it. So that, you know, that new audiences could discover this forgotten gem of a game.
Oh, yeah.
I am so gutted that I missed out on this game. So, Ian, this is mainly going to be on you because you have quite a nostalgia for this game, I believe.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I have a nostalgia for this, but I got to play this at a friend's house when he had bought it. I'm going to go with me. I'm going to call myself.
Because I'd never even heard of this game, didn't know anyone that had played it.
No, and he bought it just on a blitz sale, with a bunch of other games at the time, and had taken it home and started it and didn't enjoy it. And so it just got stuck on the shelf, really. And I was obviously, young. I was like, early 20s, maybe mid 20s, something like that. But I was at this point where I played pretty much everything that I could get my hands on. I was gaming on everything. Xbox, I think, had just come out. The original Xbox had just come out.
Yes, yeah.
PS2 was starting to go on the die. But I saw this game, and so I started it. And I absolutely fucking fell in love immediately with the whole different take on this RPG adventure. Now, like I said, my friend sold this game after I started playing it for about 2 weeks.
Right.
I'd gotten into it, started to understand how the controls worked and where the story was going. And he sold it because obviously he needs some money to buy the next biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I had skipped this whole sequence when I'd started the game.
See, I had a quick play around with the game, and you cannot skip the cutscene, otherwise when the game starts you'll have no clue.
You'll have no clue. Like, if I hit start, it says, do you want to skip, yes or no? And if you say yes, well, like I was when I was in my youthfulness, thinking,
I'll just wiki it later.
Yeah, I know. We will. Yeah. I don't care. I just want to see what happens. You have no idea, and you start off in your village. Now, obviously, I'm going to let the cutscenes play out because it's a really cool sequence. And you got these guys dancing. What I gather is that they're about to unleash an evil genie.
Yes, yeah.
And he's going to go round and suck up the whole entire world.
Well, he's going to destroy everything. And there is a good wizard who, in the moment of the catastrophe, decides to teleport all the objects of the world into Pokemon balls, essentially. Like houses, fences, rivers.
What they call it? They call it a litama, a litter. He turns it into this sphere.
Yeah,
and
so
sends
everything gets put in these balls, and they all get put in dungeons.
Yeah,
and so you need to then go into all these dungeons and reclaim these destroyed villages and towns and cities.
And the fact that, like I said, I'd skipped this sequence, so I had no idea what this genie had done. And then I start in this village with the main character, and I get told to head into this dungeon, and there's such a level of detail in this game that you will miss out on the work that's gone into the background of this game.
Yeah.
The fact that once you go into the dungeons, it's a case of defeating monsters. It's a case of picking up all of these spheres so then you can take them back outside. Look at that Ashley, she's twerking. Oh man, Like I've YouTubed this sequence before, but obviously playing it now for the game, I'm kind of like, oh man, I wish I wasn't playing another game so much as I was. I could get into this.
Get into this, yeah.
Because when you come back out from the dungeons and you've picked up all these different elements of your village, you then get put into kind of like a Sim City-esque.
It's not as complex as Sim City, but it is a village builder.
Well, it starts to get a bit complex later on because you start to build your village. There's the big ass genie.
Yeah.
You know, look at that big belly. Yeah, when you start bringing out people's villages and putting them out, you can just easily put them all into a place and move on to the next village.
Yeah. You have a big open space to build in.
Yeah, once you've done your thing, you can move on to the next village and the story commences.
Yeah.
But what I found before, obviously, the game was sold, before I got onto I was on the third village by the time that I lost the game, that certain village members, when you walk up to them and you talk to them, they say, I want the sun to wake me up in the morning.
Yeah.
And so you have to turn their house so that the sun rises in the east, that their bedroom window is facing east for the sun. But maybe that doesn't fix with the fact that you've just put a river in there because the guy next door has a water wheel and really wants it to run with the river that you put in. So now you got to move your whole river and this guy's water wheel so that this person can have the sun rise.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we've established there's a dark genie and he's about to eat everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's get back into it. I want to get into the combat as well.
That facial expression. So now we're in Naroon Village.
Yeah.
And this is basically going to be the big open space to which obviously the village once was.
Yeah. So obviously in that cut sequence, the genie's obviously come along and taken everything. They tried to destroy everything. And the wizard's done his thing, and so now you're the hero. And I remember playing this like, where the fuck am I? What the hell? Has the game crashed or bugged?
Where is everything?
There is nothing. But as you do, you make your way around. You come across this guy, and he tells you to head into the dungeon. I'm gonna make my way to the dungeon so I can get into the combat.
Yeah.
It's just easy. Yeah. All right. Hey, Ian, you are alive. Of course I'm alive. I'm a badass, man. It's been a while. I don't even remember your name. Dad? Is this my dad?
So are all the other villagers, all the other people, they've been trapped in like Pokemon balls as well?
Yeah, pretty much. What I remember up to the third village, they are all pretty much the same. You get there, the villages have been taken, but you come across your main character that's going to join your party.
That's right. You do build an entire team of characters.
Yeah, and those new characters will obviously give you different abilities, or have different abilities, because you don't level up. You level up your weapons.
That's right, yes.
And so you've got to constantly keep on top of your weapons, and like the cat lady, I think she's got special claws,
Well, she can also jump across certain obstacles.
Yeah, and so the dungeons do start to get a bit more difficult because you have to start chopping and changing between the two different characters.
That's right. I mean, you'll enter dungeons which have obstacles that you can't get past until you have a certain character join your team, and then you can go back to said dungeon and access those. Otherwise,
unlock the different basement levels, so then you can get the different pieces. If I hit select now, obviously this is the diorama. Once I get all the pieces, I can start accessing the map.
Yeah.
To pick up all the different parts.
Sure.
And then start putting them down. And at that point, I'm in this. I've just started this game at this time in my youth, where I wasn't really playing RPGs. I didn't like RPGs.
Yeah.
They took a while to get into. When you walked up to a monster and you missed...
Well, turn-based RPGs, you mean?
Well, yeah, like you have to...
Because this is more of a hack and slash, as well.
Well, that's what I realised when I got into this game, that I was like, the combat system is going to be like that, turn-based. I'm gonna miss. But when I first start getting into the monsters and start beating the crap out of them, and you're just like... Okay, I can get behind this combat. It's free moving. The camera can be a bit of a pain in the ass every now and again.
But you can lock on. You can target and lock onto your monster.
Yeah. Right. So this is Dran. This is the magical wizard, and he basically is now just going to say, right, we need you to go through these dungeons. This is the main crux of the game.
Yeah.
Now
every dungeon is procedurally generated, so it's randomly built every single time.
Which is a pain in the ass.
Especially when there's one monster which holds the gate key, which you have to defeat in order to get it.
There you go.
But then again, you're also going to want to beat up every monster, to clear out every room, to open up every treasure chest, to find every item that you're going to need to power up yourself, your sword, and rebuild your village.
I love that.
What is with this? This is like Microsoft Paint stuff. It's early Flash animations.
Yeah, like somebody's out there like, let's just make it good for kids. Like,
Right.
I think that was another aspect for this game, is that a lot of people thought it was just for kids.
Okay.
But then when I started playing it, I'm like, this is a little bit too much for kids. Like,
Yeah.
you'd have to be of a teenage year, maybe 14, 15, to really understand the concept of having to micromanage everything in your inventory.
Yeah.
You know, you have your weapon. You don't level up, your weapon levels up, so you got to keep an eye on that. But you do have to keep an eye on your health.
You also have to keep an eye on your weapon health.
Your weapon health
Because
as
if
well.
your weapon breaks, you can get your weapon to max level. You know, carry this weapon throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
And then if it breaks, it's gone. Like, you ain't getting it back.
Yeah.
You need to use repair powder throughout the game in order to keep your weapons intact. I don't really know how repair powder works on weapons, but
It's magic, man.
It's magic.
There's a fucking magic purple genie. You know, anything in a bag is.
It's just something
good.
else for you to manage in the game.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there are, standard with RPGs is that there are all the different elements, earth, fire, wind, air.
Yeah,
This
giving you
game
the
has
special
holy
bonuses.
as one of them, and you'll have different enemy types like fire, earth, wind.
Atla,
that
there you
you'll
go.
need to, make sure you've got the right elements on your weapon to do the right amount of damage.
Yes.
You'll also have enemies like statues, which are made of stone, and if you attack them with a sword, you're just going to destroy your weapon.
Yeah, you're going to damage the shit out of it, so you need the
Right elements.
I think if I remember, I started to manage my characters to have specific
So you
weapons
can change
on
out
them.
your character. Because
Yeah.
you can change your characters on the fly as you're going.
Yeah, the weapons started to become a little bit samey after a while, but once you started to manage the micro elements, I'd stay as this guy as my main character, but then
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, I'm going to be the girl now because I need to kill this.
Yeah.
Oh man, we test played this before we came on, and there were 2 monsters right here at the start to practice on.
Yeah.
And obviously because it's
Randomly
regenerated,
generated,
this fucking. Here we go. So you just move around them, and it's watching your speed down the bottom.
Yeah.
That's kind of like your stamina.
Did he just drop the key?
That's the
it's-
key right at the start.
Yeah.
There's the so here's the first part of your like village kind of thing.
Yeah, so you might pick up a fence. Or
or a
river.
lantern or a piece of river or somebody's house. And what we got? We got a fence.
You got a fence, yeah.
I think if I remember, like you don't start to get really really good shit. Oh, fuck. So, obviously he's a slow moving, hard hitting enemy, but he does run away. So you've got to use your speed to take him out. Bats are horrible.
Bats can poison you. And if you're poisoned and you don't have antidote, your health will continuously drain until you die.
Yeah.
There's also a thirst meter, so looking at the top left corner, you've got your health, you've got your sword, and then your thirst meter.
Yeah.
So you've got to keep an eye on all three of those, really.
There we go. Got the river acquired because, like I said, when we practice played, there was a river in the first area I was in.
Yeah.
So I was utilizing that while I was practice playing. Oh shit!
Poisoned already.
Oh, I'm gonna have to head back outside, aren't I?
Do you not have any antidote?
No, because I'm literally just started the game.
I didn't know if you started with one.
No, let's have a look.
Nope.
Square button. Nope. Menu. Nope. Okay, it's items. I'm just trying to remember the.
You had to bring up the menu of items.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Items. What we got repair powder, escape powder, bread, water, antidote.
So you do have one.
Okay, right. Give it to me. There we go. Right, and I've just used it. Covered from poison
So
state.
you do also have 3 passive active items as well that you can have.
Yeah. So special abilities. You know, obviously, those are your upgraded weapons as you go. My dagger. He told me obviously the dagger doesn't disappear when it destroys, but other weapons do just drop out your inventory once they're gone. There's your weapons stored, and then or your attachments. And if you will start to get filled up with stuff, so you just start chucking it in the bin.
Sure.
You know, because obviously standardly you can that button. There we go. Trying to remember all the buttons. You can obviously just sell them at certain places. But then again, you're just like in the middle of a dungeon. You're like, oh, I want that lightning weapon, but I was going to sell those 5 things.
As another thing, you have to be careful with weapons that if you don't repair them in time and they break, all the attachments and things you put on those weapons also lost.
Yeah. Right, come on, Mr. Bat. Again, before he
Nice.
gets me, yeah.
I like the way your character kind of dances from side to side. I like the animation with the swordplay.
Yeah, when you've got to really micromanage the enemies.
Yeah.
Because you might come across like later on, you'll come across rooms with obviously more than one enemy in there.
Right.
But then some of them obviously have different speed and different attacks. So you've got to
pick your
really
fights, yeah.
pick your fights, take certain enemies out at once, and then hope that you don't have to, or you don't get hit. You don't want to get hit, but you're also managing your weapon, because taking on the tougher enemies obviously degrades it faster.
Right.
Right, so I'm gonna grab this stuff, and then there's the map. I love seeing the maps.
Yeah.
When the map pops up, I'm like, thank God, thank God. I'm sure this one will tell a magic. Oh no, it's
cheese?
a piece of cheese. There's a magic crystal that will show you where everything is.
Yeah, so all the power-ups and hidden items.
Yeah.
Now, every dungeon also has multiple floors as well.
Yes. Like we're on basement 1, floor 1 at the moment, and you can go. I think this one goes up to 8. This first one goes up to 8.
Wow.
And on the very last one, there's a boss. There is a boss to fight. So obviously, going down there and getting all the stuff is one thing, and you just want to move on to the story, because, like you said, some areas you can't get past, so you've got to do the story first, and then come back and fight that boss. And it does the game. Oh, you bastard! The game does, I would say, start to get easier the more you do.
Sure.
So I got to
So you can kind of grind and level up your weapon and go and get more items.
Yeah, and then, like I said, I got to the 3rd village. I think that's probably what upset me most, because I leveled up my characters, put in the hard work. You need to find keys, which there aren't that many. You can try to force it, which damages your weapon and damages the thing inside, or you can just give up and hopefully come back one day.
with the key, yeah.
Yeah. But obviously,
the best option,
you can't come back with the key, because that chest isn't going to be there. It's going to be randomly generated.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Nice.
Yeah, and like I said, one thing I loved about this game was what appeared to be Windjam. What appeared to be really quite simple turned to be quite taxing and challenging. Turned back again to quite easy again. Once I got the hang of the combat, I was able to take out more.
You got one hit point.
Yes, I know. And he's got me.
Wow. What happened?
I got locked onto that guy, so I got locked onto him.
Ian is nearly destroyed.
Nearly destroyed. I got locked onto him, and so when he died, I was still locked onto him, and the other guy just came up and bashed me.
Right.
And you said, your health is low, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't eat that cheese when I was talking. I should have done it after I'd done the chest. I think what happens is you literally just come back out again.
Right. I love that expression on his face.
Yeah.
Just like, what happened?
Oh, that's right. And the joypad turned off at the same time. So I wasn't able to go. There we go. So now the first time you come out of the dungeon in your home village is when obviously the wizard will give you the little talk about all the stuff in those balls. And I'd never heard of this in a game. I don't think I've seen another RPG.
A unique thing, yeah. I mean, like Fable kind of had like it tried to, it wanted to have something like that.
But I know when I looked at Fable and everyone's like, I love Fable, it made me want to come back to Dark Cloud. It's like Dark Cloud did it so much better.
Yes, yeah. Well, you get to build the whole village. I mean, you get to rotate the buildings around. You get to design it. Every character in there you can talk to has their own personality. When you complete like all the attachments for the house and do everything that they want, you get given special items and special bonuses from those characters.
Yeah.
Which it's great. It's such a novel concept, and I'm surprised we've not seen it in more RPGs or other games.
Yeah, well,
I mean, like Fallout, I guess. Can you kind of build your own ramshacked place?
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
It's
Fallout is so grey and rusty, and
whereas this is I just say this is traditional Japanese kind of colors, characters, design, and it's so relaxing, like watching the village get built and populated. Like you have your intense dungeon crawl, and then you come back and you just kind of, it's two different games melded together, and it's I think it really works.
It does.
And that's why I'm kind of gutted that I never really got to play this when it came out.
But that's the beauty of this game as well, is that it now, it's on emulators, it's on PlayStation, it's on things like that, to the point where
people can discover it and play it now.
This timed stuff. I couldn't believe this as well the first time I saw this, where I came out and I realised that obviously the clock goes up and it becomes nighttime, day-night cycle, you know, and you've got to obviously keep your eye on that. Right, okay, so Giorama, I've got to try and remember how all this works again. So you can go to config. All right, okay, so there's my tree. So so now I can put some trees down. I'm gonna put some trees up here. So I've got up there. I've got another one, so I'm gonna put that there. And you can hear all the construction behind me as well. Because I've got 5, so I'm gonna make a little walkway of all my trees, and then I'm going to
very nice.
Where is it?
I like the fact that you can just zoom straight down into it.
Yeah,
build your roads, rivers.
This is my river as well. I always love the fact that I was able to do this. I was like, wow, you know, building houses is one thing, but you know, having access to, move that there. You know, having access to, you know, like a little pond now.
Right.
I'm gonna put a little fence there.
I believe you can also like go fishing as well.
Yeah.
It's like little side games.
What's it to go back again? There we go.
So this game was obviously compared to The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time on its release, and even when I look at the main character, I kind of see Link.
Yeah, that was it. Everyone was playing Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and like I said, I was not a fan of it at the time, and then I was playing this, and I'm like, oh my god, this is not what they're playing.
Yeah,
but it's so much more. It's so much more fun. You know,
sure, yeah, it's different, but similar.
But birthed my appreciation and love for those games later on, because I did, after playing this, I have played Skyward Sword.
Put Doom down.
You know, I finally put Doom down. I started playing Link's Awakening. I did Earthbound. I was wanting to see what other RPG games had done, you know, to make themselves stand out and not be heard.
Sure,
that's the weirdest thing.
Yes,
you know. Yeah. Because we did the podcast episode about RPGs and things like that, where, you know, every one of them just has a simple combat basis.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about leveling up your character and kicking ass in the adventure story. This one for me was just so much more. Right. You know, I hated coming back. Oh, my weapons! I need to repair it. Run away! Run away!
You got 10 health left.
Yeah.
And your thirst is almost drained as well.
Oh shit! I didn't even refill my water. Okay.
Come to the dungeon with a broken weapon and thirsty as hell.
I need my escape powder. Where's my escape powder? It's triangle, isn't it? There we go.
Yeah, at least that pauses. I was just like, can you bring up the menu? Does it pause the game?
Get out of there! Get out of there! Ian, get out of there! Sorry, I didn't. I need to repair my weapon. I need to get some water. And yeah, like I said, micromanaging those little things. If I'd gone back in there, I'd have just died.
Yeah.
And had to be thrown back out again. So it is right. Items, repair powder. Joystick. There we go. I put that on the. Yep. Like the game helps you out. Like yeah. There's an arrow. Here you go. Tasty water. Used that. He needs that.
Nice. So that's
refilled back up. And then obviously, if I put one there and then I can't find a water place in there, it'll automatically use that and refill up my thing.
Very
so
good.
I think I can put that there.
Yeah.
So that'll. Come easy. The set for a rusty tram to work. Okay, so we know the rusty tram.
I guess you need a rusty tram.
Stone whirlwind power. Let's.
Do you put that on a sword or?
Causes nearby enemies to be take wind-based damage. That's pretty cool.
Very
So
good.
water is filled. Weapon is repaired. Dungeon is here. Head back
ready
in.
to go.
And the dungeon's completely random. So all those enemies I was running away from,
they're gone.
They're gone now, and it's
Yeah.
all just going to randomly regenerate all over again. And I'm like, yes, yes, you
Well,
know.
I suppose you find a bad dungeon, you're just like, nah, don't like this one, don't like monsters.
Yeah, don't
Too
like
many
it.
bats.
Too many bats. Get the fuck out.
But of course, all the items that you need will still all be in there, just randomly placed again.
Oh shit! Oh yeah! Oh right. Okay, right. And you do want to obviously fight everything because they do have the key. And just lock onto it. Lock onto it. There we go.
So the dagger's ABS, its absorption is now full, so it's ready to be leveled up.
Oh right. Okay. I gotta remember how to level it up now. Get that out.
What's in the bowl?
Macho acquired. So I have. I think that's somebody's house. So if I go to go to weapons now.
So its absorption's at 32 or 32.
Upgrade. There we go. So you go down to your upgrade and you say yes, and now it's leveled up, so it does more damage. It will do more damage now.
It's now dagger +1.
Yeah. And I think you can customize and add things on it. I don't know if the attachment, if I take the attachment off my thing and put it on the dagger.
There. Yeah, so
that
it becomes a wind damage dealing, wind-based enemies.
And you always want to carry like more than one weapon, because obviously once it there we go.
In case you find different, so that refills your water.
Oh yes, so yeah.
He drinks through his feet, of course.
Yeah, he never drinks through his mouth, just drinks through his feet. But now you got that on the map. I mean, I can do the tram here as well, can't I?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to use the rusty oil. Tram can be used now.
But there's a barricade in the way.
Take the tram. See what happens. I don't know where this takes me. Actually, I'm trying to remember. I remember doing this before, but I can't remember if this takes me to the next basement or just
a secret area
with stuff. But like little things like that, you come across something. Oh, it's just the back area of this first floor.
Okay.
So I have access to finding other stuff. Oh Christ! Don't like that little thing. Don't like that little thing. Ghosts. I think you need the holy to defeat them.
I don't know. We'll give it a go. Just try and smack it with your dagger.
Try to. Oh
wow!
It fucking took me out. Yes, mate. Yeah, and it just brings you right back to the village, which I always thought was cool. There was game over. Game over.
Like you're nearly destroyed.
Yeah, it was frustrating when I was younger, but now I'm older. I'm like, thank God, because now I get to, and now I haven't
saved it yet.
Yeah, I get to pre-plan and go back in there. You know, I like. There's the book? Is there the book?
There's
the manual adventure. I'm pretty sure there's a book at some point that teaches you about different monsters.
Okay.
And so obviously you can learn about
their weaknesses
and strengths and stuff. But that's all further on. And if you ever get past the third village, you know, come back and tell me what else happens.
So, Ian, do you recommend Dark Cloud?
I do, but at the same time, fair warning, it's tough. It's not as easy as it looks. And once you get the hang of it, you'll really fall in love with this unique way that the game has for telling this really cool samey story, I suppose, that you've had before. You know, adventurer goes out there, saves his village, saves the people, saves the world, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have so much more of an input into the world as well.
Yeah.
You know,
the way it looks, literally.
Yeah, and that is such a unique factor in the game as well. That it's friggin' awesome. Friggin' awesome.
Yeah, and it actually had a sequel as well. It was called Dark Cloud 2 in America and Dark Chronicle in Japan.
Yeah, I don't think
that one was 2002. It wasn't as successful as the first one.
Yeah.
And as a result, the franchise never continued. So there's never been a third one. Although there was a small cry for a third game. I would definitely pick up and play a third game. Hell, I've even enjoyed revisiting this one, because obviously I never got to play it on its original release. I kind of want to play it. Yeah, it's had, Metacritic has an 80 out of 100. Game Informer, it was a 9 out of 10. And like I said, in Famitsu, it was a 28 out of 40.
Yeah.
So, it's very mixed to very positive reviews. There was never really any bad reviews for this game at all. So it's definitely should be, if you're a fan of RPG games and this one slipped under your radar like it did for me, definitely check out Dark Cloud.
Yeah. Can I can't de-equip it. Can I keep my fist out? No.
Can't equip nothing.
My dagger's at like 8 health, so I'm going to have to like dodge the shit out of shit. I know I don't even have to play it because I'm going to be turning this off, but my dagger's at like 8 health, man, and I've got all this rest of this basement.
Well, on that note, Ian, I'm going to say thanks everyone for watching. We'll be back next Friday to look at another video game. Of course, new film reviews on Thursdays. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon.
No, don't take this game away from me again!
Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.